Hey, and welcome to The Office Field Guide. My name's Chris, and I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever. And today, we're looking at Golden Ticket.
Oh, no. I am not Michael. I am Willy Wonka!
Golden Ticket was written by Mindy Kaling and directed for the second week in a row by lead camera operator Randall Einhorn. Golden Ticket first aired on March 12, 2009, and was way down in the ratings from last week with only 7.5 million people watching it the night it aired. Last week's episode, The Blood Drive, might have drove away some people from the series.
Pun.
There was also an episode of CSI guest starring Taylor Swift that aired around this week also, so that could account for a dip in the ratings. But while viewership was down, the ratings were up this week with 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So your Golden Ticket trivia is, how many pallets of paper does the Blue Cross get each week?
Okay, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to be honest. What is a pallet?
Answer the trivia first, spot out the Easter egg, and or leave the best emoji sequence summing up next week's episode, and you'll get your name in that field guide. And be warned, there may be spoilers for the series ahead, and with that, let's find our Golden Ticket idea.
Because it is my responsibility as manager of this branch to profligate great ideas. I understand nothing.
So something I haven't talked about for a few episodes in this series is deleted scenes. I'm thinking Peacock may make these things irrelevant at some point. Maybe not, who knows?
Irrelevant.
Sometimes deleted scenes are deleted for a reason.
Oh. Okay.
But sometimes they're pretty important to the story.
Have you ever wondered what this place would be like if I was fired? No!
The most endearing deleted content in Golden Ticket, though, comes from this subplot.
Andy, Pam, and Jim are all telling me how to deal with this girl that I like, Lynn.
And I love it. Kevin struggling with whose advice to listen to during this episode is great.
Everybody just stop. You want me to be a jerk. You want me to grope her. And you want me to be like Tom Cavanaugh.
And I mean, we've all been in this position before, right? The early steps of a relationship are fragile, and first impressions are really hard to overcome.
First impressions get locked in forever. When I first met Pam, she said something that slightly rubbed me the wrong way. Since then, I've loved working with Pam, and she's frankly wonderful. But I hate her.
So we rely on friends in those journeys, because you don't want to do or say something stupid.
Seriously, feel how sweaty my hand is.
That's really sweaty.
But like we've seen a few times in this season, you gotta be careful who you have in your corner. So let's break this down. Andy's taking this chauvinistic, or at least dominating approach.
Just ask her out.
You're asking him to give up all of his power.
What power?
And Andy's obviously projecting here, since we know he's a good guy.
Don't touch her. Don't talk to her. Don't look at her.
And we've only seen him be a nice guy with Angela.
I was raised to be a gentleman around women. But when your fiancé is Satan, that doesn't work.
This line, though,
Two hot people with a perfect relationship would not understand that.
it's funny, and I get the sentiment, but in other words, he's saying, why should anyone listen to two successful people? I get that they're hot, and that they have a good love, but it's almost like the theory is that people could only have a good relationship because the universe deems it so. But relationships are hard, which, if Season 9's Philly arc gets any credit, it should be for creating some real strife for Jim and Pam to have to deal with.
I'm sorry, but if you don't agree with me on my advice to Kevin, then we can no longer date.
That's what I'm talking about. That's hot. That's hot.
I'm dead serious.
Anyway, we're gonna get there at some point. For now, Andy's projecting, and he's taking on that domineering advisor role.
Well, it's his funeral, so...
Jim is taking his patented nice guy slow play approach,
Try to spark up an ongoing joke, and then in a month or two, if it feels right, you'll know.
and Pam's kind of taking the ladies' perspective.
Kevin, a playful touch on the arm or on the back, it can show your interest, and it's really romantic.
That?
No, stop it.
And because I'm gonna take the deeper meaning in a totally different direction, Kevin's attempts to play out these strategies in real life is a beautiful thing.
I think you have the best smile. I'd like to take you out to dinner and a movie.
Okay.
It's a cool moment. Even when he crosses a line in his honesty, he's endearing because he's honest.
Nice. Boobs.
Okay, and that's a lot on the subplot, and there's probably more we could play with. But for now, let me just tell you what the absolute best part of this episode is.
David. You're welcome.
This is a really charged moment, and it's very sitcom-y, meaning that the whole thing of Michael trying to get Dwight to fall on his sword.
I did fall on my sword once. I was running with it in my belt. It won't happen again.
And like Uno, the situation gets reversed.
One of the most brilliant signs of initiative I've ever seen at this company, and how about a big round of applause for Mr. Dwight Schrute?
It's all kind of sitcom-y, but overall it works here, I think, because it's pretty in line with where Dwight is. Dwight's at this low point, and I think besides his desire to be a yes man, he's pretty much had it with the facade.
I haven't made a decision yet.
You kind of have.
No.
Yes.
Speaking of this, I cringe every single time I see Michael throw away the suit, because that stuff ain't cheap. I know because I wanted to buy one for this episode, and I ain't doing it.
Okay. Why would anyone think that this is my golden ticket idea?
But speaking of Michael's money, I do have to own up to something. I lost track of Michael's checkbook somewhere, so leave a comment if you've been following along with how much money Michael spent up to the series so far. I'd love to catch up. But apparently Michael doesn't have a backup blazer in his car, so he wears Andy's for the rest of the episode.
Thank you!
And he's sporting a sweet Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Pioneers Minor League Arena Football League team t-shirt for the rest of the episode. And Wallace isn't even fazed by Michael's wardrobe change in this one. Look, I don't think this is the greatest episode that's ever graced our screens, but it is good. There's plenty of what I'd call Mad Lib jokes.
Can I interest you in any good cat food?
It's a man eating cat food.
Meaning that Kayleen probably wrote something like, fill in the blank here, and the writers would go and come back with 50 different jokes apiece. Here's a great example.
I have an idea for a fancy men's shoe store called Shoe La La.
But the same thing is probably also the case for things like this.
Hey, did you come up with Toilet Buddy? It's a net, a circular net you put inside the toilet.
And also this.
Horse boat.
Oh,
A
please.
canoe built around your horse so you can go from riding to water travel without slowing down.
But with that, let's dive into the deeper meaning for more on this.
You told me that you loved the Willy Wonka movie when you were growing up.
Impossible.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
Okay, so real talk time. I am not a fan of the Willy Wonka universe.
Start over.
Sir!
I get it. Some people grew up with this, and that's fine. But my parents seemed to shield me from the weirdness of the 70s version, and I was a grown adult with kids when the 2005 Johnny Depp iteration came out. I had no idea what these movies even were, and I rented them when my kids were younger, and I'm not gonna lie. What's wrong with you guys?
The second it touches my tongue to the moment it's metabolized by my stomach acid, so naturally I liked Willy Wonka.
They're weird and bizarre films. I was worried I was gonna have to send my kids to therapy as adolescent victims were being knocked off one by one like I'm watching a horror movie.
You're really weird.
And yeah, they deal with some morals like don't be spoiled or selfish, and chewing bubble gum I guess is a problem. But past the surface morals, this weird iceberg of this world that is intertwined with some real-life racism and at least what morphed into real-life classism. And look, I never really understood why Chuck and Willy would do these crazy random contests to find a replacement, rather than just, you know, promote Mr. Inside hire.
Yeah.
Right, because they're not actually employees. And why don't they hire female Oompa Loompas? Okay, political correctness aside, Michael's inspired by this flick, and that's kind of what I want to roll with for the rest of the deeper meaning. And I believe the reason that they use this intellectual property is pretty simple and clever on the surface. So on one hand, we have the theme of what makes something a good idea.
Probably the best idea I have ever had. It's probably the best idea anybody has ever had.
Michael's perception is that the golden ticket promotion was a great idea. Everyone else, kind of indifferent. Once it goes south,
Going to lose a fortune, Michael. How could you let this happen?
Michael's perception joins everyone else's in it that this was a bad idea.
Well, I lost a ton of money today, and I have a mortgage, so I'm a little pissed too.
Thank you. Jim is with me.
Keeping in mind that none of the intrinsic value of the idea itself has changed at all, just people's perception of it. From there, Michael tries to sell Dwight on a different idea. Michael's selling the perception that this is a good idea.
You're cooped up in there all day. You don't get to do your farming,
And Dwight's not quite buying it.
Said he would do the same for me.
He can do the same for you right now by getting fired instead of you.
And that whole minor plot point reinforces the idea that selling something, at least when you're good at it, is the ability to plant ideas into another person's brain. After all, the best salesmen are those who are able to make you think that purchasing something was your idea.
Going around shirtless all day, experiencing freedom.
That's it. That's it. You can't put a price on freedom.
But once Wallace drops the truth bomb with the customer's perspective on the golden ticket idea,
they were so excited by the golden ticket discount that they have decided to make Dunder Mifflin their exclusive provider of all office supplies.
The entire office, including Michael and Dwight, all change suit. As Wallace wants to dole out some credit and replicate the success of this idea, we get this cool moment in which Wallace's perception of the campaign actually changes due to Michael and Dwight's pettiness.
Okay, I am going back to New York. Pam, do me a favor. Don't send me those notes.
All the while, keeping in mind that the reality of this idea, it never changed. Just people's perception of it. So a very simple message that you could roll with from this episode is that not all ideas are gonna be golden ticket ideas.
Golden Girls, that's a golden ticket idea.
But some ideas can send you through a roller coaster of emotions, and only an unforeseen outcome can tell you if it was a good idea or not. So if you let fear be your guide, or other people's perception of your idea be your guide, well then it reminds me of Phyllis in this cold opening.
Okay, do it. Come on, great. Let's hear it.
We found some wet cement in
It's
the
drying,
park at our
it's drying.
neighborhood, and
All right, come on,
honestly,
Phil.
right.
And I think going back to the golden ticket idea, why they went with that as a central theme, it may have been just a little setup for what's about to happen. Just like the Wonka factory needed a new boss, after this very episode, we see that Michael also has a new boss.
I see.
Listen, why don't we just leave that position vacant? Truth be told, I think I thrive under a lack of accountability.
And also, just like the chocolate factory, they're looking for an outside hire as well.
Do you even know how paper is made? It's not like steel. You don't put it into a furnace.
But we're gonna get more into that next week. For now, let's rate the golden ticket.
This is the worst.
And before I get to the ratings, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, share, find us on our social accounts, check out our Discord server, and check out the Patreon if you're interested in supporting the channel. I'll have all those links below. All this stuff helps me out tremendously, so anything you do, I really appreciate it. And I'm not gonna be long on this rating. This cold opening.
Buddha who?
Buddha the spread for me, won't you?
It's such a good one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
KGB.
People ask the questions.
What the hell was that?
Here's as long of a clip as I can possibly show you on YouTube as to why it's good.
I get the door.
I'm not answering
Answer
the
the
Ding
door.
dong.
door. No way, it's the KGB.
Ding dong.
I'm not answering that.
Yes, you're going
you
to.
answer
I'm
it.
not gonna answer.
I'm not gonna answer it, it's the KGB.
The KGB will fit for no one.
They tied back to this cold opening in the stinger of the episode too.
All right. I just got out of the shower. I'll be 1 second.
Then you are done. Open the door.
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, purely because it's iconic,
It's true.
but also I'm kind of basic, and seeing people slap each other for laughs always is gonna win.
Slap face. How does that?
1-0.
Treats me that. Ow!
KGB.
Go! Go! Hey! Hey! I didn't approve a stapler, okay? I said nothing harder than an orange.
I can't.
Say it.
Stop hitting me.
You can do it. Just say it.
Hit me again.
I can counter it, but
Give me!
2-zip came to 11. Hey, you're pretty good at this for a beginner.
natural athlete.
What's the game I want in?
Nice job.
As for the episode itself, yeah, like I said, this is a good one. I'll admit it stresses me out a bit. While I think it might be a little too sitcom-y for my likings, it gets the characters, albeit a little cartoony, it gets them spot on. And I'll be honest, I don't really know why this one's rated so much higher than Blood Drive, because I really liked Blood Drive. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5. It's a solid filler episode that effectively sets up an arc that's looming on the horizon. But that's just what I think about Golden Ticket. We have a new boss next week, so don't forget the emoji sequence, the comment contest. Check out all those links below. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the mini reviews right after this.